From a real war zone, let's turn to a mini war zone. That's US colleges. Things have gotten worse since yesterday. The new flashpoint is UCLA, the University of California. Protesting students had organized a sit-in there. They pitched tents on campus grounds, held up placards and refused to leave, a lot like New York's Columbia University. And the reaction was the same. A crackdown by local police officers. Take a look at this. How about that? Flashbangs inside a college campus. UCLA had issued an alert before police action, so some students had left the campus. Those who remained were arrested. You can debate the tactics used by the cops, but honestly, they seem to have had little choice. This week, two rival protest groups had clashed at UCLA, pro-Palestine and pro-Israel groups. A lot of students were injured. Some of them had to be hospitalized, so the authorities could not stand by and watch. They had to intervene. Having said that, this police action is a temporary fix. It will not address the root issue, the issue of distrust between pro-Palestine and pro-Israel protesters. Listen to this student at UCLA.
The life-threatening assault we faced last night is nothing less than a horrifying, despicable act of terror. For over 7 hours, Zionist aggressors hurled gas canisters, sprayed pepper spray, and threw fireworks and bricks into our encampment. They broke our barriers repeatedly, clearly in an attempt to kill our community.
Notice the words used. Act of terror, Zionist aggressors, an attempt to kill. None of this suggests an imminent de-escalation. So what's the way forward? Well, this is where leadership is important. Politicians can make or break such moments, but can US politicians rise to the challenge? Let's look at both the camps. President Joe Biden was not saying much. He gave a statement last month when the protest broke out. He said both sides have a point, both the pro-Israel and the pro-Palestine camps. And that statement was on April 22nd. After that, there's been silence. He spoke about semiconductors, he cracked jokes at the White House dinner, and he called his allies xenophobic, but no comment on the college protests until a short while back. Biden delivered an emergency address on the situation. He said peaceful protest is allowed, but violent protests are not. Listen in.
In moments like this, there are always those who rush in to score political points. But this isn't a moment for politics. It's a moment for clarity. So let me be clear. Peaceful protest in America. Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is. It's against the law when violence occurs. Destroying property is not a peaceful protest. It's against the law. Vandalism, trespassing, breaking windows, shutting down campuses, forcing the cancellation of classes and graduations. None of this is a peaceful protest.
Biden is trying to balance things out. No such problem on the other side, though. The Republicans are against the protesting students. They've passed a bill in the U.S. House. It aims to limit anti-Semitism in U.S. colleges. But critics say it does a lot more, that it could muzzle criticism of Israel as well. And Donald Trump is loving all of this. He's pitched himself as the law and order president. So this is right down his alley. Listen to how Trump described the crackdown in New York.
They went into one of the big buildings, a beautiful landmark building. Boy, they got the hell beat out of it last night. You know, you're supposed to take care of those buildings. It took a beating. But the police came in, and in exactly 2 hours, everything was over. It was a beautiful thing to watch. New York's finest.
That's Donald Trump for you. He says the crackdown was beautiful. But how will these college protests affect U.S. politics, especially in an election year? It all depends on young voters. These protesters won't be voting for Trump, but they may decide to simply boycott, to not turn up at all, and that could hurt Joe Biden. He trails Trump by 1.5 points at the national level, but among the youth, Biden leads. He is 8 points ahead of Trump. So the young voter is key for Joe Biden. Just one problem, though. That lead is shrinking. In 2020, Biden had a 23-point lead over Trump among young Americans. Like I said, it's now down to 8. A lot of young Americans have abandoned Biden's camp mainly because of Israel. They accuse Biden of supporting a genocide in Gaza, and that could cost Biden swing states like Wisconsin and Michigan. Secondly, these pictures are a welcome break for Trump. The US media was obsessed with his criminal trial. They were covering every word of it. But now the focus has changed. Everyone's talking about the college protests in America, about how the country is divided, and that plays into Trump's hand. The only advantage for Biden is time. Elections are only in November this year, so Biden has time to win back these voters. Whether it's by ending the war in Gaza or increasing aid to Palestinians or making Israel agree to some concessions. But whatever happens, one thing is pretty clear. America is more divided than ever before. Both Trump and Biden can share the blame for that.